want to take a moment to talk about Media Mike, demonetize Mike. We'd often joke about a man who was full of heart and spirit, who enjoyed being a part of this community, who spent time with us each and every Wednesday and Thursday. And I know Mike had some health issues, but this was pretty unexpected. I was notified from Tony Givens, who actually put out a nice note to the innovative wrestling fans because Mike was a part of that circle. And, there he is wearing an Alliance Wrestling shirt because Mike supported what we do here. And we had a lot of ideas about Mike somehow joining in some form of capacity the weekly offerings of the live streams. Mike was going to help out with the website, and of course none of that happened. There is a very sweet hour-long interview that Mike did with Championship Wrestling from Jeremy, and either Jeremy's going to publish that at some point, or maybe we will here. But I can't say enough nice things about Mike. He was always a friend and somebody who loved talking wrestling, whether it be on the Discord while watching NWA Power or joining us here on the live streams, and he's going to be missed. And so I'm just going to take a second here to have a moment of silence for Mike. And if you guys have a higher being you believe in, please send your prayers to Mike, to him. And if you just if you don't have that, just send your positive vibes to Mike's family through this tough time. Hey guys, welcome to the Alliance Guys podcast, a presentation of alliance-wrestling.com, your number one source for news and information. My name's Jay Cal. Of course, with me is DKM, and below us is Jaden. We are the OG Alliance Guys. We're here every Thursday to talk to you, that hashtag NWA fam, about all things wrestling. DK, how are you today?
Well, I guess all things considered, I'm doing okay.
Jaden, how are you hanging in there?
I'm hanging low to the ground.
Do any of you have anything you'd like to say about Mike before we proceed with our show today?
DK?
We didn't always see eye to eye, but he was a fun guy.
Jaden?
I unfortunately didn't know him that well, other than occasional comments on the Discord or anything like that. So I don't know that much about him. But if you love wrestling and you're a true wrestling fan, you'll definitely be missed. We need more of them in this world.
One of the things that I really enjoyed about Mike is he had perspective. It's one of the reasons why Jaden is such a central part of this show, is because of his history, his connections, his context. He is able to bring context to the show. Mike was able to bring context to the show. A lot of people don't know this, but Mike did train to become a pro wrestler. He had some matches, and he was very close in the past with Biggie Biggs, your Biggie Biggs, Jaden. And I don't know what happened to Mike. I know that he had been suffering for some time. So for that, I'm glad that his suffering is done. I don't know what he passed away from. I know that he was in the hospital, but I don't know any more details than that. But he was, like Luthez said, he was a great spark plug for the chat. Definitely going to be missed. Always fun. Always had a very good spirit, and him and Willie would sit there be talking about food during the pre-party. It'd always make me hungry. But yeah, he's gonna be missed, and the world doesn't stop for anybody. We keep talking wrestling. We keep talking NWA, but much like a lot of our friends from the past, he's going to be on my heart and in my head for quite some time. With that being said, welcome to the show. Trying to be upbeat. Willie, let's get to Willie's joke of the day. Tires eats Doko locks as if they were M&Ms. Is that some sort of laxative? I'm unfamiliar with that.
Doko lax, yes.
Dokolax. And then Willie says, "Hi guys, Fuma had a massive cleanup. Tyrus ate 12 boxes of Dokolax." So thank you to Willie to bring a little bit of humor because I don't want to be too sad.
That sometimes happens to me after I eat Taco Bell. Or when Jay eats fully loaded deep fried tater tots.
Yeah, that too. James says, "Man, that one episode with Mike, we talked about deep dish pizza for 30 minutes. Good times." Yeah, I did. I apologize because I didn't think I was going to tear up.
Stop cutting those onions.
It's we develop a community here, and I think of you guys as family. And when we lost Rob Allison, it hurt really bad, and I didn't think I'd be crying today, but here I am. And we've lost a few friends along the way, and but I guess that's what a community does. I guess we grieve together, and Mike would probably be laughing at me right now, crying about him, but nevertheless,
He would.
He'd probably tell me something in the chat that would get us demonetized. So I'm going to try to put that away.
In his honor, I'm going to say a lot of inappropriate things today.
Thank you. That's what's needed.
That's unusual, Jaden.
I know. I like our new format. We're trying a new format today, guys. DK is going to be grumpy. I'm going to say some hilarious, inappropriate things, and Jay's going to try not to be racist.
Well, apparently I'm also going to cry. This is the first time I've ever cried on an episode of the podcast. What the hell?
You weren't on that episode with me and DK and Wardell Walker. It made us both cry.
Yeah, we cried.
So anyways, next week is the Crockett Cup. In less than a week from today, I'm going to be doing an episode of the Alliance Guys podcast in the same state as another member of the Alliance Guys. DK and I will both be in Texas as we get ready for Crockett Cup. And I'm excited about that. I have no clue what's going to happen in Forney, Texas. But DK and I we're going to go to a baseball game. We're going to go have some barbecue. We're going to have a good time because that's what friends do. Right, DK?
Right. And I'm not charging you much for it at all.
Thanks.
What team are you going to go see?
Actually, oddly enough, the Angels are in town, so it's going to be great. We're going to go to Texas, our ballpark in Arlington, and we're trying to get Manimal the Bull the Manimal and our old pal Kevin Douglas to go with us. Hopefully, that all works out.
You've met both of them though in the past.
Yeah. They used to come out here to Hollywood all the time.
Yeah.
So Bull and Kevin are very close friends. And then you guys remember Kevin used to be a part of this podcast for a very long time. So
yeah, we need a new intro until he comes back.
Yeah, well, see, the thought was he was gonna come back, right? Like that was the thought. Not so much.
No, he went and started his own podcast about baseball.
Yeah, well, I mean, and look, that's awesome, dude. Like, this when I started this was about being fun and having fun with my buddies. And I think we've talked about this before, but like I think Jaden was the first person to call in. And Jaden went totally into business for himself, putting over the sensational one and the magnificent one.
The divine one.
And then talking about Patch, and then DK was like the second person to call in. And I thought, Jesus, I made it. I got 2 listeners. And then it turns out the 2 listeners became my co-hosts, and we quit getting listens from them. So, but yeah, this show has grown from a very long time, and we've developed some really good relationships. And I think of DK and Jaden as my brothers, and you guys in the chat, you're part of my family. So if you have ever something happen to you, make sure a next of kin can reach out to let us know. That's just me asking personally, because a couple times I've looked up people's obituaries who used to be a part of our community, and that sucks too. All
so
right,
you're the baby brother, Jay?
maybe I'm the one that's crying, so probably.
All right, brother.
Willie Bowen says, make sure that Tyrus doesn't follow me to Texas. I mean, I can't control what Tyrus does, right?
Won't be enough room for Jay and Tyrus in Texas, and that's just because of Tyrus.
Going back to Mike real quick, because Matthew Underwood put this, and I want to share it in the chat too. He told me his ailments last Tuesday when he rewatched Power with me, and that he was going in on Wednesday. He texted me Thursday, and that was the last time I heard from him. It's very sad. Sal Win was when we connected. Chats would turn into 2-hour conversations, fast friends. He was a good guy. And, there was for the 75th, he was going to try to make it to St. Louis. His health kind of prevented him from getting out there. He thought maybe he would be able to get to Nashville. We were talking about even him, bunking in my room with me. And just nothing came up, nothing happened. And man, it makes me sad that it didn't. There was a few years ago, I was in Boston, not far from where Rob Allison lived, and I regret not just driving an hour or two to say hi, to meet him, to give him a handshake, give him a hug, and it bums me out. It really does. Mike was a good guy.